Hello, hello, Facebook.
Hey,
Hey.
Facebook.
It is Hershey, me, your girl, Miss Jennifer Pink. I am the CEO of Thumbprint Collective, aka the lead strategist, right? Like I do a whole bunch of stuff over here, but y'all know what that's like when you're an entrepreneur,
Right. We're all
right? But so for those that don't know, August is Black Business Month. This is not something that I made up. I know I make up a lot of things, but this wasn't one of them. This was actually started in 2004. And I think for me, it's a great opportunity to shine some light on Black business, and more than just support Black business, buy from Black business, right? I think it's a great opportunity to talk about building and creating Black business and how to do more of that. So that's what I wanted to do this month. And so today, so all month long, I'm going live with some unapologetic Black business owners. And you'll see the difference if you join me all month long and just how they move in business and in life and in everything. So today I am joined by Miss Khadijah K of K's Kettle.
Hello.
Everybody say hi.
Thanks for having
um,
me. I'm glad to connect.
I know, like I feel like we've been like Facebook friends like forever almost. Like it's been so long. But I know I'm really glad we got to connect and do this. But you're more than just K's Kettle Corn. Like you have so much going on and you're so amazing. So tell them just a little bit about yourself first.
Okay. My name is Khadijah. I am originally from Los Angeles. Um, I went to Grambling State University, and my background as far as like corporate employment, I'm a corporate recruiter. So I dip in and out of the corporate world all of the time. But in addition to Kate's Kettle Corn, I have Ankara Beauty, which is a natural skincare line, beauty products that I import from African countries of Morocco and Ghana. Um, so yeah, and I love to travel. That's what I do.
And you just had a birthday.
And I just had a birthday. I just turned 40 and I'm celebrating all month long. So
Yes, that's a big one. You should. You should.
yeah, so
So
I'm excited.
I want I want to talk about like because you are what we consider someone who could be in corporate, right? Like you have the skill set, you've had the jobs, all those things. Why leave that security, as they call it, right? And we'll do the air quotes because we all know it's not secure.
Triple air quotes in Texas. I'll tell you why that is.
But why leave that and build your own thing?
So for me, I've always known that working entrepreneur was a thing. My parents worked and had their own things going on. So it was never just 9 to 5 for me. Um, so even though when I went into college, I always knew that I wanted to own my own business one day. So I went to college for the experience, the HBCU experience, went to Grambling State University. When I started working in corporate America, it was even more evident that I need to work for myself because I like my freedom. I like time. I like to schedule my own things. Um, and how can I do that to ensure that that is what works for me? I need to be my own boss. Didn't know what the product was going to be. I just knew that I wanted to be in charge of my own time, in charge of how much I make or how much I don't make, those type of things like that. So the only way for me that I know is to be my own boss. And so that's always been the plan from since I was 10 years old. So
Think about it. Like everybody says that, but for some of us, it's really true, right? Like when we were little kids, we were like, yeah, so I want to do my own thing and chart my own course. And it just really has a lot to do with the people around you and how they feed into that and whether or not they tell you it's possible,
right. And
right?
also by being in LA, growing up around the entertainment industry, like my family, my sisters and I, we did some extra work on Sister, and just by like everybody is in the entertainment, but they also do something else. So people
Right.
had before I knew the term as multiple streams of income. People did several things. California is the home of like the quirky people, like the arts, and so
I mean, but that's how you survive in California.
that you have to,
Because it's expensive.
because it's expensive.
Like you
So
can't just do one thing. Like you have
right,
to do so much to just eat. Like
right,
literally.
right. So that for me, that was never. I didn't go into it as I didn't go into it as don't worry about what the man or whatever, quote unquote, or this corporate rat race. It's always been in my mind. But once I got in, I was like, oh yeah, no, this is not gonna work. Not for me long term. I use 9 to 5s, W-2s as another stream of income because that's what it is. They respect that. The world respects the W-2. And so you can be on a job for a month and they'll be like, oh, you got a job here. Your credit is good. Here you go. Mortgage, right? Here you go. Car note, whatever it is, a loan, because you have that W-2 and they see, oh my gosh, she has a job. Meanwhile, in the state of Texas, it's a right to work state. They can fire you at any time for anything or for no reason at all. So, like, it's not secure.
Right. It's not. It's totally not. So I want to talk a little bit about the beauty box because I know that that's relatively new for you.
Yeah.
But I totally love the way, and I've just seen it on Facebook, the way you're intentional about sourcing the products and who you're working with. And to me, that's really like the gold standard for like creating a Black business.
Okay.
So talk a little bit about like why you did it, how you're doing it, like that process a little bit.
Oh my God, this is like, I get so passionate about some things, but like going through this journey, I'm like, is this my purpose? Every time I do something new, I'm like, is this my purpose? But I honestly think like this time it was just, everything came full circle. So 2018, I went to Ghana for the first time, Ghana, West Africa for the first time. And I loved it. I just fell in love with the country. It felt familiar. I didn't know what the familiarity was, that feeling. But now that I think about it, it's like, oh, this is home. Like didn't come there thinking like, oh, this is home, but this is home, right? And
Right.
so because it's a developing country, they have a stable economy, there's so many opportunities. But with that opportunities, the type of person that I am, even here in the States, I'm a socialpreneur, I'm a philanthropist, I work with nonprofits. So a lot of people from the diaspora, they come there and they're looking like, what can I do? What can I do? Business opportunities, because there really is. It's like the land of opportunity. And so just by shopping, bringing Shea Butter back, and then people were asking for it. And I'm just like, Shea Butter. And because of my experience as a corporate recruiter and logistics and manufacturing and supply chain, even with Case Kettle Corn, the business aspect of it, I like to know, like, where does this stuff come from? How does it get there? How does it get to the shelves? Right. And so for me, it turned into a research project because I wanted to know. And then finding out where the ladies, and I say the ladies because the women who produce the Shea Butter, this is a handmade product. They treat grows in Africa. You can't get it anywhere. I'm familiar with this product. I used to buy it in LA, but from the guy on the side of the street, that got the stuff from Africa. And it was kind of like this magic butter, but and then now with the natural hair movement and the skincare, and it's become a huge like awakening, and people are making Shea Butter almost like a household name now. Like back in the day, it was cocoa butter, which is still amazing. But like everybody uses Shea Butter. You see it on the TV. So I'm like, what? Let me follow the supply chain. And that's when I found the women cooperatives that I could work with. And that's how it became a thing. And then so the third time I went to Ghana this last year, 2019, I started importing it from a women's collective because again, intentional. I wanted to cut out the middleman, because what happens is the women will make the product and then they'll send it with a guy, a man, to a crowd, which is 12 hours away from where they make it, and hope for them to get their money back, like waiting on that money. So, and there's a lot of people, they do well with it. And then there's further out you go, it's a little bit harder. So that was where my interest peaked. And so I'm like, how can I marry these two? So again, doing research, and I understand, what volunteer is, because just because I'm not getting paid, in dollars, the knowledge that I'm getting is, priceless. So I became an ambassador for Fair Trade America, which is an organization here that we literally would just push the importance of fair trade. If it's cocoa, if it's tea, whatever it is, rice, bananas, chocolate. This is why you need to pay fair price, because once people pay fair price, they can determine healthcare, education, all of that for their own family. And so that I just took that product and the knowledge by sitting at the table with people who didn't necessarily look like me, but I gained that knowledge to bring it over to my own thing, which was Ankara Beauty. And then December, I went during the middle of the pandemic, I know, but it was amazing. I went to Ghana and I was able to actually meet with the women and started filming my documentary, The Business of Shea, where they showed me from the process from start to finish. And then it just kept snowballing, and then came the beauty box, Ankara Beauty Box, where I work with that cooperative there for the unrefined ivory shea butter. And then there's a cooperative in Morocco that I work with for rose water, clay, and argan oil. Put it in the box. And then I also work with the seamstress I met the very first time I was in Ghana, who made my clothes, and that's the person that I use from now on, to get these spa headbands made, to incorporate in the box. So the box is comprised of natural hair products, skincare products from women-owned cooperatives and women-led cooperatives in those two African countries, Morocco and Ghana. And I worked with small business owners, which are Fatima, who makes our spa headbands. And so that's the Ankara Beauty Box.
But like that is just so amazingly dope because everybody is talking about rose water, like you say, everybody's talking about shea butter, and it's we don't get that connection that it's from Africa, number one, right? Like I think most of us know shea butter comes from Africa, but like we don't know. You know what I mean? Like we don't know what it looks like. We don't know what that's like. We assume they're getting paid what they want to get paid. Like we have no idea. And then rose water, I think a lot of us think it's like a rich white people thing, right? Like, and so the fact that you're like, no, like this is our thing, and you get it from these women who are there, who are doing the work, and you cut out the middleman. So you cut out like that overpriced capitalist piece, right? And then you're bringing it to the diaspora here. Like, that's just dope. Like, and that to me is what Black business should be, right? So it's not so much about the fact that I'm Black and I built a business, but that I'm revolutionizing my whole community. And they're part of our community, right? Because like you said, that's home. So they're included in this. So, but you're revolutionizing so many communities with just one beauty box.
Yeah. And like, what I love about that is even better, I created the Shea Butter Collective. And what that is, because I know how, you know, the challenges of importing shea butter or anything from a foreign country, let alone a developing country, right? And so if I'm having this issue trying to find shea butter directly from the source, and I don't do anything to the butter but repackage, or I don't do anything to the products but repackage it and brand it for Ankara Beauty. So I'm like, there's a lot of amazing skincare, natural skincare haircut companies out here that look like us, right? That look like me, to where I know they're wanting to buy this stuff in bulk, but where can we get it from directly to the stores? I've been there. I've met with these people. I've taken the risk to send thousands of dollars over there. Cross my fingers that it comes back, and it always does. Thank you, universe. Thank you for connecting me to people who are genuine, because you hear that too. That's a real thing. Like we're connecting people via WhatsApp and PayPal. Like if somebody here in the U.S. is like, oh, send me $1,500 via bank wire, and the bank always calls me like, hey, are you sure? And I'm like, I'm sure, and it's a risk that I'm willing to take. So what I did was I started recently a group, the Shea Butter Collective, which is a collection of small business owners here in the U.S. who use shea butter in their products, so that we can all go in and buy a ton, which is a shipment of a pallet of shea butter directly from the women. And how that benefits us is, one, we'll have a smaller price for the shea butter because we're buying in bulk. It's group economics, and it gives more money directly into the women that are there, because if they don't have orders, they don't work.
Right.
So what also is dope about my last trip, again, full circle, if the women don't have, after the documentary, we're talking about like what are their dreams, what do they want to do, like, is this your dream working here? Could absolutely be your dream working at the Shea Butter Collective that we work with, but like, what do you want to do? And some ladies were like, they want to, their dreams are for their kids, but they need money for school supplies and things like that. So I actually showed them how to make popcorn so they can sell it. And that was like the dopest part to me. I have a video where they were like making it over open fire with the same pots that, similar pots that they make shea butter and cook in. So that's the full circle part about, I was there getting information from them because they're helping me to understand. But now they fed so much into me. And I cannot wait to take the women that are part of the Shea Butter Collective to Ghana. I have some friends that were going in December. It's just full circle. And then in the Shea Butter, the Ankara Beauty Box, of course I had to throw Case Kettle Corn in there. My friend, at first I wasn't. My sister was like, "You're not gonna put Case Kettle Corn in the box?" I'm like, "It's two different things." And she's just like, so my friends were ordering. They were like, "Can you throw some Case Kettle Corn in the box?" And that's the dopest part about, again, being an entrepreneur. I create my own lanes, multiple lanes, right? It's my own highway at this point. I can do what I want. I can do multiple things. So
Yeah, I mean, I get it though, because if it's a beauty box and I'm taking care of me, I want a snack,
yeah,
a little snack. So it makes sense though. I mean, but you're right. Like, we can create our own lanes and our own highways, and we don't have to fit in the box of everybody else. And I feel like you have really done that well, even especially with the popcorn, right? Like, because it's popcorn. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what everybody's like, it's popcorn. Like, what's the big deal? Like, what's so exciting? And so talk a little bit about how you created your popcorn. Like, and not how you actually make it, but you like that brand and that people want.
absolutely. So again, always doing my own thing. I had another job where had a wedding resale shop, which I still think the concept is super dope, and I might pour some more time into that later. But I started a popcorn company out after I was at the warehouse or my shop, because the only people that could sell food in the shop was the people who own the space. So I was like, okay, there's money in concessions, right? So I'm always thinking like that. So I'm like, why are they the only persons? And I love popcorn. So the beauty of it is YouTube. You can find anything on YouTube and Google. So I was closing down the shop one day, decided like I wanted to go get some popcorn, but I didn't want to drive way. It was like a huge flea market. Didn't want to walk all the way over there. I was like, I can make this. We used to make popcorn as a kid for my uncles and things for, Father's Day, the caramel corn and stuff like that. So I've always, and this is again, I keep using the term full circle, because I've always wanted a product that was, again, as an entrepreneur, I didn't know what the product was going to be, but I just knew I wanted to have my own thing. I wanted a product that was inexpensive to start, consumable, and would bring me repeat customers. And then after I figured out like popcorn, I was like, duh, it's popcorn. And it's something that I would do one day. And then at my line sisters, I'm a Delta, at my line sisters baby shower, I hosted the baby shower and gave like the favors, and they were like eating it up. And they were like, oh my God. And in the back of my mind, I was like, this will be a business one day, because it's super easy to make. Look into the laws. Texas has cottage food laws. You can make up to $50,000 at the house without any other permits, because it's non-hazardous. Like, there's all of these, there's so many ways to make money. Like, my dad used to always be like that. Like, there's so many ways to make money. So don't ever think that this is it, right? Long story short, I sold out at homecoming, and that was 8 years ago. And we've been popping ever since. Like, our busy months, we do like 30,000 boxes. Like, it's so dope. And it's popcorn because everybody eats popcorn. And if you don't, you know somebody who does, right? And then I only do two flavors. That's how I keep things simple. I only do two flavors. I started with kettle corn, and then I added movie butter popcorn, because that's what the order called for. So I learned how to perfect it, and I was like that. And it's so simple that yes, I absolutely love popcorn, but I'm not like one of these bakers or these foodies who mix all of the different flavors. Everyone's like, oh, you should do this, or you. I'm like, that's great. You should do it. I can absolutely tell you how to do it, but that's not what I want to do. So
I love it. I love it. So there's a comment. It says, true story. With Kay's book, I started my own home baking business, Crumble Z Cookie Co.
Oh, hey.
Like, she's like, I know who that is.
Yeah, cool. That's exciting. And that's the other part. Again, lift out, we climb. I created an ebook. What was that? 2015? Like, it's the same ebook, and it sparked. Even if you don't want to do popcorn, like, it just shows you that it's basically like a lemonade stand, right? You can do so many other things by just sparking that interest in children. And I say children because I do when we're doing Popcorn CEOs, which stands for Children's Economic Opportunities, where I went into schools to teach children about entrepreneurship and the principles of supply chain management. Because again, how does this popcorn get from seed to shelf to stomach, right? And so they're like, oh, and I'm like, oh, they're like, I can do this. I'm like, you absolutely can do this, and this is how. And so a lot of parents will start off with their kids with the book, and the kids might lose interest, but guess what? It sparked something in them.
The seed is planted.
The seed, literally, the popcorn seed was planted. One of my coaching clients, Rico's Rock and Pop, he is popping. Like, he does corn puff stuff now because he had braces. And so he started off as with popcorn, but he told his mom, he was like, the way it affected his teeth and stuff like that. So it's the same thing. So now they're doing corn puffs, and he is popping. Like, this is these type of stories that, again, lift as you climb. By just putting that information, the same questions I used to get all the time. And I'm like, you know what? How to guide. Bam, right there. There you go. I'm not stingy with the info, but, got to pay a little something for it. But yeah.
I mean, I hope that everybody is picking up like all the gems you're dropping, right? Because you're not just saying like, oh, I started a business and it went good and I made some money. You're saying, I started a business, it went good. People were asking questions. I created another stream of income with an ebook. Then I decided to give back and give it to the next generation, right? And then I took my knowledge that I have in my corporate, we're going to use that air quote thing again, right? And I sit at the table with people who don't necessarily look like me, but I get all the information I can get, and I turn around and I give it to my community. Like, that, like, literally is what Black businesses, like, that's what the real Black Wall Street is and was, right? It's not so much, I mean, we have to build the businesses, of course, to create the money to be able to do things, but that's what the core of it is. And I think we miss that so much, right? Because like you said, like, people get stingy, like, oh, it's my trade secrets.
Yeah.
You didn't come up with it.
Like, no. But you know what? I think that's very important. That part, I want to speak on it as far as like Black businesses and how we network. 90% of my customers are Black. Even if they're not the person who is actually consuming the product. At this point in my careers, I know purchasing managers and hiring managers. So they're ordering with their corporate card for, employee appreciation. These are big orders. Like, so, but it's that networking. I didn't just show up in their inbox like, hey, how do you do such? You have to build that relationship, and people are way more, willing to share with you if you have a relationship with them. Like, that's huge. I see we both Black, but sis, like, we gotta have something. I don't even know if you want to be here this week. Like,
seriously, exactly. And that, to me, I think when I watch you on Facebook and stuff, like, that to me has been the biggest like love moment, is that I see that you do these big major orders. Like, you still have your website, and do you still have the subscription?
Yeah.
Like, you still have that, but right, and the website is linked in the description. So guys, you click it, get some popcorn. It's clearly is good because people is buying it, right? But you are now elevated to the next level in your business, and so many of us get stuck. Like, we don't do that.
Job. My last one, 2014, my corporate job. I've had that same order since 2018. For years, he never liked the comment. I stopped working with him in 2014. 2018, he hit me up like, hey, I see you doing your thing. I might need 7,000 boxes this week. Oh, wait, it's for the next 4 weeks. Can you do it? Absolutely. Keep in mind, he never hit like, he never shared a comment, but people are watching you, and just show up. You have to show up. And I show up in my authentic self, right? I share a lot. I'm intentional on what I share, but people buy from people that they like. Like, you can't be, if you're going to use social media, you can't be this personality none of my want to work, and then it be like nobody's buying from me because nobody like you. It's like you have to. That's the conversations we need to have. And social media is a great tool, but I don't get caught up on likes. I don't get caught up on shares because people are absolutely watching. And my biggest supporters are people who have never liked, clicked, shared, nothing, but they're watching.
It's true. It is completely true. Like, and I know exactly how I got connected to you with Patrice Washington.
We went to high school together. Love Patrice. She was an Autopop Club. Like, Patrice is so genuine. This same Patrice, and I guess I connect with her even on the entrepreneurship level because she is ever evolving, and she's been this way that all the time I've known her, and so she probably has been grounded. Of course, we evolve, but she knows who she is, and she's unapologetic about it. I know who I am. You're going to get these locks one day, and tomorrow, who knows? We're not sure, but I'm going to show up, right?
I love it. But so somebody asked the question, they said, I may have missed this, but when did you take the leap to leave corporate America and go full-fledged and be an entrepreneur?
2014. I didn't go into details about it, but 2014, nothing was wrong. Like, my coworkers were great. Nothing was wrong, but I was ripping and running around town, making deliveries on my lunch break. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, the orders were bigger, and I called my mom and I was like, yeah. She was like, what are you about? I was like, I need you to talk me off the ledge. That's what I told her. She was like, what are you about to do? And I was like, I think I'm going to quit my job. And so she was like, well, let's talk through this, right? And then I quit it when I had savings. I just didn't just be like, oh, and I tested it out. So I had this company for like a year and a half at this point. And the beauty of living in Texas, mortgage is kind of cheap, like those type of things. So I went skydiving on my 34th birthday. I took my sister and I literally took a leap of faith. And I use that as a metaphor, but I literally took that leap of faith, went back to the office, I gave a 2-month notice. Who does that, right? Because, again, don't want to burn bridges because I've always called back into corporate. And yeah, that's what happened. It's literally been popping ever since. It's been consistent. We have some really great months, and then there's months that we don't have anything, pandemic, right? But I'm still moving. I'm still creating an ebook. I'm still doing coaching. It's multiple things that I can do based on popcorn, or poppin' shirts, which are conversation starters. Like, my friends who don't eat popcorn, they make sure they get whatever color poppin' shirt I have come out. Right. And or popping shirts or hoodies or whatever it is, they're gifting it. So I create little things along the way to pay these bills, but it all comes around to popcorn. And then I have the Ankara Beauty. So I don't know, 2014 is when I was full-fledged. So from 2014 to 2017, it was all case Kettle corn. Then I would dip in and out, back and forth to corporate. They're recruiting heavy right now, so I might dip back into corporate for a little bit. I love contract assignments because you can dip in and out. Like, that's the beauty of it. It's another stream of income.
Listen to what she just said. It is another stream of income. She does not see corporate as like the gold, I've made it. Like, for her, it is really just, yeah, that sounds really good right now. I could use some extra money, right? Like, I mean, we all can use some extra.
Absolutely. Right.
We ain't Rihanna. We ain't on the billionaire status. Right. I'm just saying. Oh wait, you have another comment. She said, I love it. Let me go get my ebook and add popcorn to my business mixed with mini cookies, sweet and salty. Listen. But I think what you're talk about, and I know you've seen it because, we've exposed to tons of business owners, right? The mindset to be able to grow and to create the additional streams and to open up the beauty box and all these things. Like, what do you think is the mindset piece that other people are not having, that that you have?
I don't have limits on myself. And I think that's huge because some people, it's not about other people putting them in the box. It's about us putting ourselves in the box. Can't nobody put you in the box if you're not okay with stepping in that box, right? And so for me, it's just like write down, you want to do multiple things. As I'll use this as an analogy, Black women with our hair, we do multiple things with our hair. So if you have multiple interests, pursue them. It doesn't have to always be profitable or business wise. Try other things and you might find out that you like whatever it is. You like one of my friends, she started fishing. She loves fishing now. Like, do it, try it, and then it'll turn into something. But don't put limits on yourself.
I love that. And I think we're gonna end there because that's just like such a dope place. Like, don't put limits on yourself. But before we get out of here, is there anything else you want to say? Drop your socials, tell them the website again so they can come shop with you.
Yeah, it's kettlecorn.com and then ankarabeauty.com.
There you go. So make sure you guys hit her up. If you need Shea Butter, slide in the DM, see if you can be part of the collective. Like, let's figure this out because we can all grow together. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for joining me for our Let's Talk About It for Black Business Month. And for those of you watching, come back on Tuesday because I'll have another amazing business owner.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys. Bye-bye.